Please step out of the car, ma'am.
You can't take my phone.
All right, don't resist. You're gonna go to jail.
Joel here with Bodycam Breakdown TV. Today's footage comes from Crime Scrutiny. If you want to watch the original video without my commentary or breakdown, I'll have the full footage linked below so you can watch it start to finish. What begins as a routine traffic stop takes a different direction after officers report seeing an open bottle of tequila inside the vehicle and detecting the odor of alcohol coming from the driver, setting the stage for a closer investigation. The breakdown starts now.
What are you doing?
Hi, what are you doing?
What are you covering up?
I'm not covering anything up.
You literally just threw everything down onto the
I
floorboard.
was grabbing my bag for my license.
You were literally throwing shit down.
I'm parking here because I work here.
She tried covering something up on the floorboard. Do you know why I'm pulling you over?
Why?
You're gonna give me attitude right now, like you're annoyed because you went right through the red light.
Before the officer even explains the reason for the stop, he's already watching the driver's movements. Reaching toward the floorboard can immediately draw attention because officers are trained to account for anything that isn't in plain view, whether it's an attempt to conceal an item or simply retrieve something. That observation is likely to shape how the officer approaches the rest of the encounter.
In front of us at orange and white. Okay.
I'm late from break, and I'm sorry.
Ma'am, do me a favor, put your car in park.
I can't because I pulled over because I saw you behind me.
Put your car in park.
So there's an open bottle of tequila in the car. How many drinks do you have today?
None.
Why is there an open bottle of tequila in the car?
There's not.
Why did you blow by that red light?
I didn't blow by a red light.
As the officer tells her to put the car in park, he immediately addresses the open bottle of tequila he says he can see inside the vehicle. Her denial doesn't end the issue. He's now comparing her response with what he believes he's observed to determine how the stop should proceed.
Okay, you did. Do me a favor, put your phone up there.
I'm not gonna hang up.
Ma'am, just take your phone out. Right now, you're detained for a traffic stop, okay? Do me a favor.
I'm already parked.
Ma'am, do me a favor, step out the car for me.
I'm gonna bring my car.
No, you're not, ma'am. Please step out of the car. Ma'am.
You can't take my phone.
All right, don't resist. You're gonna go to jail.
Once the officer decides she's being detained, the focus shifts from a voluntary conversation to controlling the next phase of the stop. Asking her to step out gives officers a more controlled setting to continue the investigation and reduces their reliance on the driver's movements inside the vehicle.
Whoa.
It's not resisting. It's not resisting.
Don't pull away. Stop. She's fighting. Stop. Stop. Let go. Do it now. I said let go.
I can have my phone.
You reek of liquor right now.
What is going on? Sienna, make sure you stay on the phone, please.
Once the officer moves from detention to an arrest, the investigation has reached a point where they believe they have sufficient grounds to take the next step. From here, the priority becomes completing the arrest safely while maintaining control of the process.
She's involved in study 3.
Sienna.
You do not need to be here. I'm hanging up with you, ma'am.
No, do not hang up my phone. That's illegal. I have a brother that's a police officer.
Okay, well, guess
you
what?
hanging
You're
up my
looking at
phone
two
is
police.
illegal. You know, you can't pull over somebody who's parked.
Ma'am, I don't know what you know, but,
But
you committed a traffic violation at Orange and
But you
Washington.
can't pull over somebody who's parked.
As officers prepare for the next stage of the investigation, they end the driver's phone call to keep her attention on their instructions. Her objections show she disagrees with both the stop and the officer's authority, but the investigation continues based on what officers have already observed.
Who said that?
You can't. I know that.
So are you going to equip...
Yes, I am.
All right, I want you to follow this blue light with your eyes and your eyes only without moving your head. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Can you keep your hands onto
Sorry,
your
there was a
side?
raindrop.
You're moving your head. So we're going to start this
Am I moving my head?
I'm not asking
No,
you.
I
I'm
haven't.
telling you. Ma'am, I'm not
Can we do it
arguing with
again?
you.
The eye test depends on the driver following simple instructions and keeping their attention on the stimulus. If that doesn't happen, the officer may have to repeat portions of the test before deciding whether the observations are reliable.
We're going to do it again.
Okay.
Ma'am, don't just follow this with your eyes only. If you are unable to
sorry.
do it, I will stop the exercise and determine that you're unable to do it. If you're unable to
Sorry.
follow basic
I
directions.
can follow.
Okay.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Can you?
Once the officer has gathered the observations needed from the eye test, there's no benefit in extending it. Moving to the next evaluation allows the officer to compare different indicators before forming an overall assessment.
You imagine a line from here all the way over there. Can you put your left foot on that line? Your left foot. That's your right. Your right foot heel to toe. When I tell you, you're going to take 9 heel toe steps. Plant your lead foot, take a series of small steps, and take 9 heel toe steps back.
The next evaluation shifts from eye movement to balance, coordination, and the ability to follow a sequence of instructions at the same time. Officers aren't looking at just one mistake, they're observing overall performance throughout the test.
Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
You may begin.
1, 2, 3. To do more? 8.
The way I instructed you.
1, 2, 3, 8, 9. I have now did 18. Is there anything else you would like?
The way I instructed you. Remember my instructions?
Yes, sir.
Then do it the way I instructed you.
I did that.
So you're done?
No.
Even after the test has started, following each instruction remains part of the evaluation. If the officer has to repeat directions or correct her along the way, that can affect how the overall performance is interpreted.
You're done?
This is what you instructed me.
Okay, the next exercise we're gonna do is the one leg stand. You could pick any foot you want. You're gonna take that foot, raise it approximately 6 inches off the ground, you know the height of a soda can, and you're gonna count aloud. 1001, 1002, 1003, until I tell you to stop. So you may begin at any time.
The one-leg stand evaluates a different set of abilities than the previous test. By comparing performance across multiple exercises, the officer can look for consistent patterns rather than relying on a single observation.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is hard. 6, 7, 11.
Okay, so how many drinks did you have today?
I have not had any.
None at all.
No.
Okay, look at my partner. All right, and then can you do a forward dive like this? Yep, all right.
With the field sobriety tests complete, the officer has gathered the observations needed to make the next decision. From here, the encounter shifts from evaluation to determining what action, if any, is warranted.
Now you're additionally getting charged with DUI.
So what happens when they breathalyze me and see I have no drinks?
Well, that's up to the judge to decide. Get in the car.
I need my phone.
You'll get that.
Do you have anything on?
I need my phone.
It's gonna
Get
come
in
with
the
you.
car.
Get in the car.
I need my phone.
You're gonna get another charge.
Get in the car.
Get in the car, do it now.
What's the other charge?
You already have a resistance
resistant
charge.
right
I'll
now.
get another one.
We're giving you a lawful order.
The incident ended with the driver being taken into custody after officers completed their investigation at the scene. According to court records, the driver was charged with battery on a law enforcement officer, driving under the influence, driving while her license was suspended, and resisting arrest. After initially pleading not guilty, the case was later resolved through a no-contest plea. She was sentenced to probation and ordered to pay approximately $1,300 in court costs and fees. This case shows how an officer's decisions are shaped by the observations gathered throughout an investigation, not by any single moment alone. What are your thoughts on how officers handled this incident? Let me know in the comments below. That's it for this video. How do you think officers handled this one? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoy these types of breakdowns, be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a new video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next breakdown.